Hello. I want to share with everybody something that I created out of necessity, really, and that's my color palette for the gelatos, because I searched everywhere for even just a swatch chart, just to swatch the colors for the gelatos, and I couldn't find one. And I wanted a travel palette. I use and am a huge fan of Ellen Hudson's Peerless watercolor palette. The Peerless bonus pack has exactly 40 colors, and Ellen Hudson came out with a perfect palette that I use all the time, and I super love it. So when it came to creating my gelatos palette, I wanted it to match Ellen's palette in size and everything else, so that they would fit perfectly the same size and I could just shove them in my art book. So when I designed this one in Photoshop, ironically, the gelatos, if you include the bonus packs, also have exactly 40 colors. So they were perfect and for the size match. So I designed mine, just to be clear, I didn't just copy Ellen's chart. I did design mine in Photoshop, but I copied her layout and her design almost exactly so that they would be the same size and they would match. So they go together exactly the same way. I'm going to link to her Peerless watercolor video in the description bar below. So go and watch her video, because she shows you how to put together. There's no putting it together. You score it and you put the piece of acetate in the center and you tape it with, it's not complicated. But she shows you how to put it together. So go and watch her video, because that is just exactly how I designed mine to go together, exactly like hers. So thank you so much for the palette and the inspiration, because, I'm not trying to fix what's not broken. She has an excellent layout and idea, so thank you so much for that. So I put all the colors of the gelatos, all the basic colors, and then the metallics here, and then the bonus sets last. So what I did was I put the name of the bonus set and then the color. So it's Tropical Snow Cone, Tropical Margarita Mix, Tropical Raspberry, etc., etc. So this is the Tropical pack, and then the 50s Diner pack, and then finally the Steampunk pack, which is fairly new, and I just got it, so I'm super excited about that. And then what I did was, when I designed the palette, like I said, I did it just like Ellen did, and I left a space down the middle where you can put your tape to put in your piece of acetate, etc. But then I also did a swatch chart that doesn't have that in the middle, so you can just print off. I did 2 on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and then I just trimmed them out. I did one on watercolor paper, and then I did one on mixed media paper, because they do look different on different papers. I find them to be a little bit more muted on my mixed media paper. Not drastically, but just subtly, enough that I wanted a swatch chart of both of them. And I think they're more vibrant on the watercolor paper. So I did one of each, and I taped one to the front, one to the back. Of course, you can paint the cover or do whatever you want. I just left mine plain. I would advise, if you're going to be using it a lot and opening and closing it, that maybe you consider using like a duct tape or something. I use my Peerless one a lot, and it's coming apart, so I have to read. You can already see like there's layers of tape because I just keep taping over it, so I'm going to put duct tape there and fix it. Yes, so you can go, I will put a link to my blog below, and you can go to my blog and you can click on the images there to enlarge them, and then just right click and save image as. When you print out the palette, print it on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of watercolor paper. You'll probably just have to cut down a piece of watercolor paper to size, and make sure that you have unchecked fit to page or shrink to fit, or anything that's checked. Uncheck it. It will look great in the preview, but when you actually go to print it out, it will be wonky. So make sure it's unchecked. And then to use your palette, I just, I always have a baby wipe. I don't know, because I don't like too much water on my brush. So when I dip my brush in the water, I always dab it off on the watercolor. And here's just a spare piece of paper. What color shall we use? Let's do metallic. Ooh, let's do bubblegum. Oops, I hit the camera. Of course I did. Okay, now I have to start over. So, and then you just go into your palette like this to pick up color, and then you can just color. This is the mixed media paper. You can see how much, what I mean by the muted. but I really love it. And then you can just paint away whatever you're doing. And like I said, by far the Ellen Hutchins, Hudson, why do I say Hutchins all the time? Ellen Hudson palette is my favorite. I love it. And so this one is made to match. If you do have the Peerless watercolors, they will be the same size and they will be best friends, and you can fit them right in your art book. So don't forget to check out her video, link below, and link below to my blog. I hope somebody out there finds this as useful as I do, because I couldn't find anything on the internet for the gelatos, for color swatching and palette making and all that great stuff. So I hope you guys can make some use out of it, and thanks for watching. Bye.